Welcome back, it's time for more Thunder Down Under. I had to say that at least once, and I guess no one on our team actually has Thunder, but, well, you get the idea anyway. So it's time for the Under Colosseum rounds 3 and 4. Again, all of the battles are actually... Oh, actually, they are just called Battle 1, so I guess calling them rounds makes sense. I wonder why those gigantic chains are there, though. They look disproportionately huge. And once again, more Venus fanboys. So, what do we got here? Dustox and Coughing. Yeah, again, a bit of a downgrade from the finals. We've seen quite a few Coughings, but have we seen a single Wheezing in this game? I get the feeling that we might have, I just can't remember. Although, come to think of it, I actually don't think we have seen any Wheezings yet. Of course, you know, there is still Dustox here. It's nice that I'm leading with Sol. Sol's got a pretty good advantage here. Yeah, I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to one-shot Dustox. It has some pretty decent special defense, but I am surprised that I did that much to it, especially considering how many levels it has on me. Yeah, Coughing's facial expressions are very 2D looking in this game, which is kind of annoying. That was a crit. Yeah, nice job. Okay, this will probably do a lot more. Please don't hit Sol, that would be bad, because that's pretty Oh. Double crits! Sol has really had terrible luck lately, hasn't he? That is painfully frustrating, because you are my Psychic type. I guess I can use Confusion on Kickface, but still, it's not the same. Definitely not the same as Espeon using Psychic moves. Dustox I mainly remember for having the weird honor of, I mean, both Dustox and Beautifly seem to be used a lot by Team Galactic, which I never really understood why Team Galactic used them, of all Pokemon. Always felt like a very weird specialization to me. But yeah, now I'm just thinking about other random Team Galactic stuff. I saw a review of Diamond and Pearl recently, and they kind of... The reviewer had the exact same thoughts on Team Galactic that I had, that... Oh, yes! Let me interrupt that thought, because, oh, yes! I don't need to grind for BP on Mount Battle to get this now. This is going to be amazing. I'm very glad that I used a revive there to make sure that I learned that. Yep, Sol has now learned Psychic. And things are going to be destroyed. This is going to be very, very fun. Actually, I don't think we've seen a Tentacruel either. Although there might be a rematch trainer who has a Tentacruel that I've just done off camera. Now, knowing me, this is going to poison, isn't it? No, okay. That surprised me. Okay, Suicune is not going to be that good against the Tentacles, so I guess I can bring Sol back in. I'm kind of banking on... Yeah, let's just swap out the, what I was doing there. Kind of banking on that Coughing to go down so that Sol doesn't take a sludge on the switch in. Please don't hit Luna, that would be bad. Of course you did, and if I hit myself, that means Sol may go down again. Okay, didn't hit myself, good. And down goes Coughing. Double good. Much better than double crit, obviously. But yeah, getting Psychic is going to be amazing. As I said much earlier, you can technically get... Oh yeah, and because Sol learned something level 47, Luna is going to learn something level 47 too. Screech is actually not bad. It's not going to be that beneficial to Umbreon itself, but... And I'm not learning it. I feel like if I was in Past Me's place, I would have taught that, because that would be a great move, like, you know, for Kickface, or even Dan Green Stomps, and just make the physical attacks of my team a lot more powerful. But anyway, there's Psychic. Psychic, I forgot that it just doesn't look anywhere near as cool as it did in Battle Revolution here. I love how Psychic looked in Battle Revolution. And I think in XD it looks pretty cool too, but here it's just kind of meh looking. Yeah, she's long gone by now. So yeah, the EV evolutions all learn moves at the same levels. Oh yeah, and the orange writing there, I know I put it in an annotation in the other video, but it does say Super Grand Hotel. Just like one of the signs, the other signs, so that's kind of a weird thing. Not sure what that big rainbow-coloured sign says. And I'm now reminded of Effie. But anyway. Gloom and Machoke. I'm sure that I've seen a Gloom in the Under Colosseum before, but since I'm leading with Soul, who now has Psychic, that Gloom is probably going to be gone on the first turn. I probably should have kept Screech. Anyway, actually, both of you are weak to Psychic. Seems like that's the theme here, and that's good. I think I kind of want to get rid of the Machoke first, because otherwise Umbreon is going to suffer. I guess it's at this point that they're going to start to make a pretty decent team. Grimer. I might be able to one-shot that with Psychic too. But anyway, what I was saying before about Team Galactic, I just feel like, I just don't like how, I know that it's even in-universe, the Grunts have no idea what their boss is actually planning, but I still just don't like that from a story standpoint, and yeah, I just thought that in general Team Galactic didn't really make a lot of sense, and I never really liked Cyrus much as a villain. I know that a lot of people do, I mean, it's especially the fact that they give you, like, there's an NPC who talks about his backstory, and gives him a bit of a reason why he acts the way he does. But you can only find that NPC after you've beaten him in the final fight. So it's like you fight him for the whole game without even knowing what his motivations are, and you don't even get the motivations until after you've already beaten him, and that subplot is completely resolved. Anyway, though. That was a Gloom using Cut, which I guess is kind of ironic, given all that move. Really? Well, I was talking... I'm not even going to begin to think about that. I suppose this is just more of, you know, them trying to imitate Venus. I kind of wish that was directed at Grimer now. Soul being like, no thank you, not interested. But anyway, I should hopefully be able to take this Grimer out now. I do kind of like how some of the trainers take after Venus in terms of her overall battle strategy, but it is very annoying. Oh, minimize and attract plus paralysis? That's even worse than I thought. Well, Soul is clearly not interested in that Grimer, and Luna has Feint Attack, so I'm pretty much fine just staying here. Minimize is not really going to be doing much to Luna. And there's the crit. There, finished off. Luna had to kind of knock some sense into Soul for a second there. Anyway, round 2 done. Let's see what round 3 has in store for us. Yeah, that reminds me a lot of Chuck back in Gold and Silver, when he does that huge act of lifting a giant boulder, or in the remakes, standing under a waterfall, and then he's like, wait, that has nothing to do with Pokemon, doesn't it? You'll be seeing the ultimate example of things that have nothing to do with Pokemon in XD, but I'll be talking about that. Basically things that look intimidating but don't make you any good at Pokemon battling. Ronald. Well, that was almost a normal name. Just needs a D on the end. Oh wait, there's an enemy jump off. That's kind of cool. Let's see if it uses any similar moves to mine. Now, I was about to say something else about this awesome music, but then I realized I've already talked about this awesome music a lot. Don't really need to beat a dead horse. Or, well, I was about to say, like, Rapidash or Mudsdale, but that actually sounds really disturbing. And there goes totally not the evolution of Arbok. Getting a lot of experience out of this fight, though. That's good. Oh, there's Swalot. We have seen Swalot before, but now we have Psychic. Leech Seed. Kinda wish my Jumpluff had Leech Seed, but oh well. The lack of a move relearner in Colosseum is really annoying. It means that Shadow Pokemon that are caught at higher levels are often missing out on particularly valuable moves for them. Particularly Skarmory not having spikes, that's annoying. Yeah, so this is going to be a running theme for Soul at this point. You'll notice that I'm one-shotting Pokemon that are over, well, exactly 10 levels higher than me. That is the true power of Psychic. And it seems like I learned it at just the right time. So many things here are weak to... Wow, you're being very unlucky with Leech Seed. I feel kind of bad for you now. Yeah, that Hariyama came right into that attack, thanks to Gen 3 switching mechanics. But it's probably going to get one-shotted by Psychic, although it does have a lot of HP. Balanced out, though, by only 50 base special defense, let's see. And it got one-shotted. Yeah, you can probably tell just how powerful Espeon with Psychic is now. Can you imagine what would have happened if I had got this TM, like grinded forward at Mount Battle, the earliest possible opportunity I had to... I thought you missed again for a second there. But yeah, if I had grinded for that at the earliest possible opportunity and had got that after Dakim, yeah, you can imagine just how badly that would have broken the game. Just trying to think about what a Colosseum speedrun would look like and what's even used in those kind of runs. Wonder if anyone actually does Colosseum speedrun seriously. I remember back, I forget exactly how long, but I think Worcester did like an entire Stadium 2 speedrun, which took over 30 hours or something. I think he also at one point attempted also why using Frustration. I'm really worried that you are abusing that jump off. But anyway, I think at one point he also did an all-gold symbols speedrun, which involves speedrunning not only the main story, but also trying to get through the Battle Frontier and get all the gold symbols, which... yeah, and he lost a lot due to double-team Pokemon and other things like that. I should mention that as much as I love the Battle Frontier back in Emerald, like, even I didn't end up getting all the gold symbols. I probably could do it today, although, admittedly, trying to get gold in Battle Palace would be a nightmare. I still don't like the Battle Palace very much. I know a lot of people brought up Gen 4's Battle Frontier and the Battle Roulette. The Battle Roulette is pretty amazing, actually. I enjoy the Battle Roulette. I also like the Battle Castle. The way that you had to go in without any items and you had to balance spending these points that you acquired on either healing or extra items or even lowering the levels of opponents. And then there was that cool risk feature where you could actually spend points to raise the levels of your opponents by 5, but if you won, you got extra points. Well, she said that, but then again, everyone here is talking about Venus, so really, the Colosseum isn't above all that. Oh, look! Another Pokemon weak to Psychic! This is just getting ridiculous. This is pretty much just the Espeon Psychic training gallery at this point. I mean, which I guess is really what it is, but still, since I'm kind of grinding here. That, for some reason, that took a while for the Intimidates to go on Umbreon after that. Like, was it loading something? I'm not sure. Anyway, though, this Golbat is probably going to get one-shotted if the theme is any indication. Yep, it's one-shotted. So, is that a perfect one-shot record and everything weak to Psychic here? Seems like it. Well, that's something that I obviously can't one-shot with Psychic, so this will be a problem. Okay, now I can't one-shot things with Psychic anyway. I'm sure even Pokemon weak to it aren't going to get one-shotted behind Light Screen. Still find it weird that back in Gen 1, Reflect and Light Screen were self-buff moves that didn't persist when you switched. And got cancelled by Haze, I think, although I forget if they still got cancelled by Haze or not. I think they could also overflow your defense if it was too high. Like, if it went over 999, it would actually go down to a really low number. Although I think that was a feature of just stat boosts in general back in Gens 1, and I think 2, because I remember that Marowak could also overflow its attack stat by using Swords Dance and holding a thick club. Which, yeah, that's pretty insane. Holding thick club and using Swords Dance, if your attack is too high, Marowak goes down to something like 10 attack or something and starts doing pathetic damage. So many The irony of Statler is confused. Statler used Confuse Ray is pretty great. Switched out the Sol and Luna combo to the Dan Green and Suicune combo. Oh yeah, that's the Light Screen. I was wondering why I was doing so little damage there. This is just going to be the confusion battle, isn't it? Let's hope that none of you have attract, because that would make things even worse. And you say that Venus, like, the trouble in the town has no bearing on the Colosseum. Well, at least you do it with your confusion. But, I mean, you are confused yourself, so I suppose that makes sense. Right, let's see if I can actually hit something now. Nope! Oh, you are sneaky. I think that's the first time we're seeing Perish Song in this game. So I'm pretty sure the AI is smart enough to switch out of Perish Song. They usually do it on the turn that it's about to hit 0. This basically means that every Pokemon in battle is going to faint in 3 turns, if they're still in play by then. So, I think back when I was younger, I didn't actually realize you could switch out of Perish Song. I remember when I first learned it, I think it was on a Mischievous back in... We're both going to hurt up. Okay, we actually didn't hurt ourselves that time. But back when I was first playing Jet 2, when I first learned that move on a Mischievous, I thought that it was basically an end-all sacrifice both you and the other Pokemon, because I thought there was no way to get out of it, but I just didn't really think to switch. Then again, you know, when I was that young, I didn't really think to switch in general, so that's probably why. I remember testing it out in a Caterpie, one of the earlier routes, waiting for all 3 turns, and then both of us go down. I was just trying to think, like, I get the feeling there's some RPG that actually does have a move like that, that actually takes down both you and the other thing that you're targeting. I know there are some moves in RPGs where you sacrifice yourself to heal... Oh, actually, that's, Rakandra in various Persona and Shin Megami Tensei games. Which I still think is really, really bad in Persona 3, because only the protagonist can ever learn it, and, that's a game where the protagonist losing all their HP means an instant game over, so you really don't want to do that. It lowers your HP to 1 rather than actually outright sacrifices you, but it's still not a good thing to do. I mean, it is the only multi-targeting full revive in that game. Have you ever hurt yourself yet? Well, sadly, Dan Green goes down, and that, yeah, you're not going to, thank yourself from recall, because I had too little HP for that. But yeah, I'm sure I said this back in that playthrough, but Rakandra is amazing in Digital Devil Saga, at least from what I've seen of all of the bonus boss fights. But it helps that you can buy an infinite use revival item in that game. Infinite use max revive, essentially. Though you don't get access to it until very, very late in the game. But anyway, I'm completely going off topic here. Oh, hey! Finally someone's using a Weezing! Please tell me I still have Soul around in the back. I actually need to switch out... Well, actually, I just need to switch out Suicune, because... Was gonna need to switch out someone for Soul anyway, so this works out pretty well, but... Yeah, no, let's just go for Confusion, just to avoid the risk of missing. But yeah, if that hadn't happened, then... You know, come to think of it, you didn't switch out, although I think you don't have any more Pokemon left, so you couldn't switch out. I probably should have left this Stantler to feint to Perisong. I forget if that actually has a special animation in this game or not. I know that in some games, actually feinting to Perisong does have its own unique animation. Please tell me that Souls is not going to get one-shot at the moment that he comes in. Okay, that's good. Well, Poison, but it's not like that's going to matter much, because Soul is going to be demolishing this Weezing with Psychic. And I guess Confusion for good measure in case this fails. And yep, you got one-shotted, so I guess that is a full one-shot record. Thankfully it didn't explode. Weezing is a Pokemon that's been good in multiplayer in a lot of generations, but I don't think I've ever trained up one. Probably need to at some point. And with that, we've beaten the Under Colosseum round 3. Let's see what TM we get out of it. Probably get a little bit more money too. Really though, the best reward that we got out of that was Espeon learning Psychic, because that's just amazing. Anyway. TM 30. What was that again? That's not Shadow Ball, is it? Don't think that's Shadow Ball. I think Shadow Ball might be 28 or something? I don't know. Anyway, though, I should probably switch a couple of my Pokemon into the front slot of the party, just in preparation for the next one. I don't think I've led with Dangren and Kickface before. Now let's check out what TM... Oh, it was Shadow Ball! Nice, I was right. Okay. As you can see, it lowers special defense, even though it's a physical move in this gen. Actually, though, this is great. Okay, Sol and Luna, that's bad, but Kickface. This is gonna be very, very useful, and I think I may finally be dropping Confusion here. Because Shadow Ball, physical Shadow Ball, is a fantastic move to teach Medicham or any good physical attacker in this generation. Especially fighting types, because it helps, like, Ghost fighting coverage covers very, very well. I don't think there are many Pokemon that resist the Ghost fighting combo in this game, actually. I'd actually recommend doing the Under Colosseum. Did Mr. Junior just hop for a second there? Anyway, I'd recommend doing this just for that Shadow Ball TM alone. It's just that good. It's funny how Shadow Ball is a great move both before and after the physical special split, but for completely different reasons. Back in Gen 3, this was pretty much one of the biggest staples of physical attackers. You saw it most often on normal types, though, and some fighting, but many of them couldn't learn it. And one thing that I did find really strange is that even though Gen 4 introduced Shadow Claw, which is effectively the same thing that Shadow Ball used to be, I don't find it to use nearly as much as Shadow Ball used to be on physical attackers. I mean, and it's only got 5 power less than Shadow Ball. Guess now's a perfect opportunity to be showing off Shadow Ball, or I might just hijack the Dunsparce, we'll see. But yeah, I'm not really sure why that is. I feel like it's that the majority of Pokemon that learn Shadow Claw by TM learn Night Slash by level up anyway, and Dark and Ghost coverage is essentially the same, so really, if you've got Night Slash, there's no real reason for you to be using Shadow Claw. And yeah, so that is the power of Shadow Ball on a physical attacker in this gen. Pretty impressive. It's definitely the most important move to remember is physical in this gen. Okay, going for Curse. You're probably not going to get a chance to use that, though. Especially since this doesn't raise your special defense, so seeing as you were 2 hit KO'd by this before, you're still going to be getting 2 hit KO'd, so gone. Forgot Dunsparce could actually learn Curse, though. It's kind of annoying that Headbutt is a breeding move for Dunsparce in this generation, which means that Shadow Dunsparce can't get it. It's one of the few things that's actually good on Dunsparce. I'm so sorry. It's always funny when Ghost types do that. But yeah, we see both effects of the move Curse in the same battle. And yeah, when you've lowered them to below half their health, they just suicide with Curse like that. Yeah, guess you do care about who you battle now. So, both effects of the move Curse. I guess now I could take the time to explain it. I've probably already said this in a Pokemon playthrough before, but the reason why Curse has 2 different effects, depending on what type uses it, is because its Japanese name is actually a double meaning. In Japanese, the word, also his wave was really weird there, but anyway, in Japanese, the move Curse is called Noroi. Now, Noroi means curse, but it can also mean slow. So the idea is that there are 2 versions of that move. One that's the one that's used by Ghost type, which is curse, and the one that's used by any other type, which is slow. So the English version didn't bother to translate that at all. So instead, you've just got curse, lowering speed and raising your attack and defense for no apparent reason when it's used by a non-Ghost type. Yeah, I find that really strange. It's like, I don't know if there's any secondary meaning of the word curse that relates to that. I mean, are they supposed to be swearing, which somehow makes them slower but more physically tough? I have no idea. Also, here's Sableye. Forgot that you can learn Rock Tomb. I don't know if I've said this before, but a lot of Sableye's animations in the 3D games remind me of Stitch. I also, like, a lot of other people in my family thought this too. Just the way that it does that smile, and just the way that it moves, and I guess even its just general appearance, it just always reminded me of Stitch. I guess there I just realized, oh wait, Staryu is not a dual type yet, so I can use High Jump Kick. Yeah, it's often easy to forget that some Pokemon aren't the same dual typings as their evolutions. Like, Starmie is Water Psychic, but Staryu is not. Breloom is Grass Fight. Well, actually, that's completely different, because why would Shroomish be Grass Fighting? Like, Seedot is pure grass, but its evolutions are grass dark. No, the main one I wanted to think about, yes, Cacnea. Cacturne is grass dark. Cacnea is not grass dark, it's just pure grass. And you also sent out a pretty good Pokemon for me to use Shadow Ball against, except I'm just going to go for the obvious High Jump Kick. Poor Kadabra, the Pokemon that is forever banished from the trading card game due to a lawsuit. It's weird, though, that... Oh, no. Of course that would happen. I lost half my health too, ouch. Which is actually exactly what it would do if this was a later gen. Yeah, I guess any physical move will really make quick work with Kadabra. I doubt Corsola will go down to 1 High Jump Kick, though. It is kind of bulky. I didn't just select High Jump Kick on Kadabra, did I? Please tell me I didn't just select High Jump Kick on Kadabra. It'll probably faint anyway, but still, I definitely should have used Shadow Ball there. But yeah, it's weird how that lawsuit didn't affect Kadabra's ability to appear in the video games. I forget if Kadabra's made any major appearances in the anime since all of those lawsuits, but for those who don't know, Kadabra... Oh, okay, I did use Shadow Ball, that's good. Kadabra, its Japanese name is Ungella, which is based off of an actual real-life magician called Yuri Geller, and he sued Pokemon for that. Which, I mean, I suppose kind of makes sense because its Japanese name is just his name with a few letters removed. It's kind of interesting. In the Japanese version, all three of that evolution line are all named after famous magicians. So Alakazam is named after Houdini. But the weird thing, okay, so Abra is called Casey in Japanese, and I don't know who that's named after. I'll have to look that up. Okay, 1, that's disturbing. 2, I love how the text just says blush. It's just written out in text, blush. It's like one of my favorite lines from Mega Man Battle Network 4. Grin! I'm pretty sure that line was not meant to be just written out as a line. But, also, are you related to / dating that bodybuilder earlier who said something similar about Venus and muscles? Wow, this round, just like that last round, was basically a training ground for Psychic. This round is becoming a training ground for Shadow Ball. But, yeah, I still love it when dialogue just says, like, sound effects out loud. I mean, maybe that was a translation issue, because Japanese does have a lot of onomatopoeia that you can just say in regular conversation, and it implies just certain, like... Japanese has onomatopoeia for emotions. It has onomatopoeia for states of being. It's one of the things that can make it quite difficult to translate, because very often those onomatopoeia can be slipped into normal dialogue, and it sounds very weird. Like, I was just trying to think of an example. I mean, I know that in English sometimes people will say, my heart is going pitter-patter. That kind of makes sense, but you don't say in English, like, something is picker-picker sparkling. Like that is, like, a line that would actually make perfect sense in Japanese, but in English is just not something that you would say. And then there's just so many other onomatopoeia that are used in context that you would not use onomatopoeia for in English at all. And also there's the fact that, like, in English, onomatopoeia usually are only used as, like, sound effects in comics or other things like that. And then, you know, to be fair, they do that in manga all the time too, but you don't often see onomatopoeia used in serious literature, which... It's like, I was the one who got Shadow Ball. But, like, in Japanese, onomatopoeia is a serious literary device, and you will see it in actual serious writing, so... Kind of interesting that, and it can make translating quite hard sometimes, especially for the ones that don't really have any real English equivalents, like, as I was saying, the onomatopoeia for emotions. Close-up of the dodgy-looking bodybuilder model there. I've said it a lot in this game, but yeah, the human character models are definitely not the strengths of the 3D Pokemon games. And actually, Battle Revolutions were fine. They weren't that bad. I think even XDs are a lot better. Colosseum just has some pretty dodgy models. I mean, I was just looking up Duke King on Bulbapedia, and his XD model, which is what's shown in his portrait, because yes, he does appear in XD, but so what's on his Bulbapedia page, it looks very different to his Colosseum model. Well, finally got a level up there. Don't know how close we are to learning any new moves on my Legendary Beast, though. Probably not for a little while. It is annoying that they don't learn Calm Mind until level, like, 81 or something, and there's no Calm Mind TM in this game. Oh, hi, Breloom. You're about to get Fire Blasted in the face, I'm sorry. Unless I hit myself. Okay, good, you didn't, but I could still... Okay, no, I didn't miss. Right, good. And I got a crit. That definitely didn't matter, but still. Yeah, Breloom is actually a pretty cool Pokemon that I'd like to use more someday. Is that foreshadowing? You'll have to wait and see. Again, doing that has no effect on how you are at Pokemon battles. Oh, they're final already. Yeah, so these rounds have gone a bit faster, probably because I've leveled up a little bit more, so I'm, well, stronger, basically. And it's a Roller Boy in the finals. Again, everyone here is still obsessed with Venus and or Shadow Pokemon. Just notice now the Roller Boys have this kind of pendant around their neck. Banana and Warfare. Oh hey, more Pokemon weak to Shadow Ball, that's convenient. Though the Banette is likely to be trying to Shadow Ball me back, and I get the feeling that'll one-shot me, because like I've said many times before, Banette is like the one ghost type that actually likes Shadow Ball being physical. At least at this point. Yeah, if Golurk existed now, then it'd definitely appreciate physical Shadow Ball. Yeah, that's kind of the thing. After Shadow Ball was gone, there weren't really that many decent physical ghost moves. Apart from Shadow Claw, which is only 75 power, well, I guess we'll never know if it was going to Shadow Ball me. But yeah, apart from that, which was only 75 power, I think the next best thing is not Shadow Force, the non-signature equivalent of that. Oh, hey, I was talking before about how I hadn't seen a Tentacruel yet, and now we are seeing one. Yeah, so Shadow Force... Phantom Force, that's the other... Wait, no. Which is the one that's Legendary exclusive and which is the one that isn't? I think it's Phantom Force that isn't. Also, I think I know from experience that Tentacruel has fairly bad defense, at least compared to its special defense, so I'm going to go for physical attacks on. So much Confuse Ray here. And Green has certainly been very confused here. Trying to think of a role that Dan Green played, the actual Dan Green, that might have caused him confusion. Just trying to think. Well, I mean, he was Mephiles the Dark in Sonic 06. That game had a pretty confusing plot. I only just remembered that recently. I was like, oh, right, he was Mephiles. Oh, great. Confused dive. That is quite annoying. Something that you need to remember at Tentacruel is that for a Pokemon that's primarily defensive, it's very fast. And I'm doing the same strategy with Wobbuffet that I'm doing, well, that I did back in the Scrub fight. Which is basically just ignore it, because if you don't hurt it, it can't hurt you. The problem, though, is that I would very much love to switch to Soul right now, but I can't because Wobbuffet is locking me with the Arena Trap. So I have to just, at the moment, ignore it. That did less than I thought it would. And it's probably going to dive again. But yeah, that Wobbuffet is now not really doing anything. Because, like I said, if you don't hurt it, it can't hurt you. I think Past Me was dumb and forgot about Shadow Tag. Definitely wouldn't be doing that now, but yeah, back then I was just like, oh, I forget about Shadow. Yes, you have, maybe your past life as Mephiles is going back to you and you're, getting confused because of that game's plot. Although I will say, like, I don't know why I'm talking about Sonic 06 now. Yes, I have been recently watching, Clement's Sonic 06 review, which is pretty amazing, but I do personally think that out of all the storylines, Shadow's storyline in 06 actually had potential, and I feel like it was at least okay compared to the other two, and it probably would have made a better Shadow game than the actual Shadow game. A lot of people think that Mephiles is a much better villain than Black Doom, and I'd kind of agree. I mean, he is bogged down by the simple fact that he is part of Sonic 06, and also the fact that he gets some really terrible lines. I just suddenly remembered the line, like a chicken comes from an egg, everything has a beginning. What were they thinking when they made a line like that? Probably the same thing they were thinking when they came up with, sounds like being a princess isn't that easy. Which, some people didn't realize that I actually referenced that back in when I played, Omega Ruby, actually, no, Alpha Sapphire, when I was fighting Brawly. The joke being that Brawly is voiced by Jason Griffith, who voices Sonic in Sonic 06, and who has that line. And now it's just the Warfare, which means that we need to pray it doesn't use counter. You see, that's always the annoying thing about fighting a Warfare with the AI, is that it becomes a luck-based thing as to, yep, it used counter, and given how high its HP is, that's probably going to one-shot me. Yes, it's going to one-shot me. So like I said, it's pretty much down to luck as to which counter-attack the AI chooses. Of course, against a real human player, they'll... Unless you're up against a mixed sweeper, or unless you're in double. So that's the thing, Warfare, I would definitely argue, is not broken in double. Well, I mean, Shadow Tag is pretty powerful, but Warfare itself, the fact that you can double target it with 2 Pokemon, and the fact that it can only counter one thing at a time, it definitely makes it less overpowering than it is in the single battles. I mean, I forget if there was actually ever an official ban list for double battles back in Gen 3, because I think at that point in the series, Smogon didn't care about doubles, because, I don't know, just... Until VGC got a lot bigger, just nobody at Smogon seemed to care about doubles. That's another reason why I didn't really like it all that much. Of course, even now, people don't seem to care much about triple battles and rotation battles, though they can be fun sometimes. And I think in Japan, there's actually a pretty decent competitive scene for both triple and rotation battles. Did we just get less prize money that we got from round 3? That's really strange. Anyway, though, from that, we get... TM, how they say I love you in Carlos. Iron Tail is sadly the best physical move that a lot of Pokemon get in this generation, especially Pokemon like Entei and Flareon. It's a pretty bad move if you have other options, but in Gen 3, most Pokemon don't have other options, also lol, Espeon being able to learn it. It might not be a bad option to teach Entei, because like 75 accuracy is just not that good, but really, there's not much better options that Entei has in this game. I still love the lucky translation that was, Oh, okay, I'm run out of video footage there. I was about to say that I love how lucky the translation was for the Iron Tail Pikachu thing, because in both Japanese and English, the first syllable of Iron Tail is the same as the first syllable of I love you. But, anyway, that's that with the Under Colosseum. Next time, we'll be moving on to Area Leaders 6 to 9 of Mount Battle. So, see you then. And then we'll finally be doing the finale, so don't worry, it is coming.